people really understand the end goal of the project. Um, Change management is yeah, it's a skill. It's a
Yes.
skill that people in project management should have and should develop. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, for anyone out there too who would work on the ERP system, I would say if you're not an IT person who doesn't have a background, make sure you also have faith.
Yes. Faith is a very good part because
You
that
gotta
pulls you through. Dear viewers, welcome to BRASI, where we exchange knowledge about supply chain management and share thoughts and ideas with our colleagues in the industry. And I'm delighted to welcome Mamadou Diallo, our professional colleague, who is a team lead at Neemba Corporation in Senegal. Welcome, Mamadou. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Aftab. Very happy to be here with you. Thank you for that introduction.
It's a pleasure. Here's a quick introduction of Mamadou Diallo, Head of Regional Order Fulfillment Department at Neemba Group in Senegal. He has many years of experience in logistics and supply chain management with a strong focus on procurement, order fulfillment, and international freight operations. He has expertise in coordinating international shipments, air and sea, from the US, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Australia Africa, including billing and export documentation. He is skilled in freight quotations, warehouse operations, and developing SOPs, standard operating procedures, for shipment tracking and administrative procedures. Bachelor's in Transport and Logistics, MBA in Supply Chain Management, certified in Supply Chain and Operation Management SysCom from BRASI, and has core competencies in project management, team leadership, negotiation, reporting, and international logistics coordination. Wow, what a powerful portfolio, Mamadou. Really
Thank you.
impressive.
Thank you, Aftab.
You want to say a few words about Neemba Group, please?
Yes, so Nimba is a main dealer for Caterpillar in the West Africa region. So it's established in 9 countries in across West Africa. So we sell machines, heavy machinery, to our customers that are in mining, in business construction, a construction business, and also energy solution. So apart from selling machine, we also provide after sale services and spare parts and maintenance and everything that goes along.
Quite diversified, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I would like to ask a few questions. You have been involved recently in the ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Systems implementation, and we know how important an ERP system is for supply chain management, especially the planning operations. So, and that's why we requested you to share your insights and thoughts about this central piece in supply chain planning, which is the ERP, uh, Enterprise Resource Planning System. So I have a few questions for our audience benefit.
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right, so first of all, I would say, can you walk us through the key steps involved in the implementation of an ERP system? And also, how do you ensure a smooth transitions for users during the process? So we understand that although ERP system may be similar, but each project is unique based on the organization's uh, footprint, number of employees, products, product type. So they always, you have to make some changes and transition from legacy system to the new system. So again, the steps involved and the transition challenges, please.
Thank you again, Aftab, for the platform and for giving me the opportunity to share this project that I've been working on and within my organization. So yeah, we are actually in the process of migrating into a new ERP. It's not over yet. So This whole thing started as they requested me because I've been working with the company for 4 years now, and based on the experience that I have on daily operations and interacting with the system, so they chose me as
Good for
some
you.
kind
Yeah.
of some kind of a key user to participate in elaborating and developing the project of the new ERP system. So this is quite it was quite an experience for me, very interesting. So you have to when we speak of ERP implementation, it has to be approached as a project. You know, it's mainly project management, pure project
Right.
management. So there's different people from different background that work on the project. You have the ITs who have core competencies in development, writing codes and stuff like that. And you also have the people from the I mean from the people from the field who actually knows how things work, and those people are the one who set the requirements and work along with the ITs and other stakeholders to make sure that this goes right. So, from an IT perspective, I've learned that there is a common frame that should be followed. It's called SDLC, and it's software
Okay.
development lifecycle process. And
Hmm.
but that's pure IT, and I can't say that I have the best background in computer technology and all that, but what I can say, and from the experience that I've had so far, is that generally speaking, we went to a planning phase first. You know,
Okay.
it's preparation, it's defining objectives, scopes, and defining who's also going to participate on the project. So after that, you also have a phase where you have to map the processes, what the users usually do on a daily basis and how they do it. You know, it has to be assessed, and it has to be the ERP, which is projected to be implemented, has to be aligned with those processes. And if
Right.
there are any gaps anywhere, it needs to be fixed. And how do you say? I would say you will have to, you have to be to align with it, or find alternative solution to make sure that it doesn't that it doesn't change the processes too much.
Right. And if
And
I may add here that, like you said, your strength and my strength may not be in IT. However, we bring the business core concepts on which IT works. The code needs to be written for a certain process, and we know the process. So that's the strength that we bring to the project, that we help the IT professionals to do the algorithms, do the codes as per the business strategy and what we need uh, to happen there, right?
totally, yeah. The concept, we have the concept, yes.
Yeah.
I remember discussing this with one of our IT managers, and when we started, I was in working with them for 4 or 5 months, and I told them that I really understand now how things work in the background. You guys are really the architect of everything that we do. And he told me
Right.
no. He told me no, actually. That was funny because he gave me a reply. He was like, no, you still don't understand, because you guys are the architect. You guys define the concept and we apply what you tell us to do. So that was
Exactly.
funny. And then looking at it from that perspective, I was like, he's actually right. It's just that since I'm into something new that I didn't know before, it's kind of impressing to see how all these things are done behind the curtains.
So you mentioned the planning phase and the involve the users. So I'll come to the that point. We
Yeah,
already,
yeah, and then
yeah,
there's a design phase. The IT has to go and work on some kind of a prototype. They have to. That's how it went on our side. Once the goal was the scope was defined and the processes was defined. Also,
mhm,
we have to also write those user stories that actually reflect functionality of the system that we how we want it. And then this prototype has to be made available to the end users, key users, and also in some people within the stakeholders that are chosen from different departments to be able to test the system to make sure that it's aligned and it's accepted. Also, you also have this UAT phases, is user accepting testing. You really have to make sure that people are involved in really how do you say, people familiarize with the system, and they they I say they validate everything that's done, and
Exactly.
yeah, and then
If I may, sorry, if I may add here that there's a critical piece, the UAT, user acceptance testing, because they're the ones who are going to use the system. If they can run and validate, like you said, then there's a high chance that the new system will run as expected
yeah, yeah,
with the
that's true.
results. Yeah.
That's true, but it's actually more complex than that, But I'm sure we get to that point because user acceptance is it's something that I also learned is that project management is especially IT project management. It requires soft skills and it requires interpersonal skills,
There
and
you go.
convincing people. It's not
Well
easy.
said. Absolutely. There's a human element, which is not mechanical. You just cannot put two plus two together and make it four.
Mhm,
That's the
mhm.
whole. So you thank you for that's a segue to my next question. So, like just mentioned that, let's expand a little bit on that. Some common challenges, and please expand if you, as much as you can. The transition from the legacy system to the new system. What challenges do you face on the soft side of human beings, and how much training, if it does, training helps align them or make them own the process?
Well, I would say that's the most challenging thing to do. It's to make sure that people are comfortable and people really understand the end goal of the project. Because if we decide we don't just wake up and decide to move into a new system, and that's there is a vision behind this, there are reasons, there are objectives, usually top management define. And if you're moving to something, it means things are going to be improved somewhere, and that's what needs to be put ahead with the users and with the people who may
Yeah,
restrain, who may not easily accept the fact that we are
yeah.
moving into something new.
So I'm sorry. So the role of training, does training play a role in aligning expectations, people expectations with the corporate goals and why we are bringing the project about? So did you use
Yes,
training as a tool, as a tool?
yes, you have to use training as a tool. I mean, apart from training session that I organized, you know, there is there's something very important that needs to be done. I think I mentioned it before, but there are stakeholders in the company,
Yes.
people from different departments that are going to be chosen to
Yes, you did.
participate
Yeah.
in the project, and those people are somehow uh, called key user or super user, whatever. Those people should be trained. Those people should participate in all the phases of the early planning, and those are the one who are going to be your ambassadors when it
Leaders,
comes to,
thought leaders, ambassadors, influencers. Yeah.
yeah,
Very
influence of the.
nice. Good.
So the trainer needs to be trained, and that trainer needs to train the others regularly, and there needs to be a time length before deployment. I mean, before go live. Subsequent enough time need to be dedicated to training, and
Yes.
that's what will really help the project succeed.
Yeah. What I have observed, interestingly, that you're already using a system, like call it legacy system, and people are not happy with it. They find faults. The system is archaic. It is old. Let's get a new system. However, the moment the new system is introduced or launched or being implemented, the resistance start building in. That's because there's a change. Change brings uncertainty, and the old system may be bad, but you are used to it. It's like an old coat. You are used to it. It may not look good, but it's used to it. So the transition, so wean people away from the old system and the new system with this also, like you said, processes and the system go hand in hand. Systems are designed to uh, deliver the process. Process
So
also process also benefits from new capabilities, new functionalities. So at the same time, you also refine the process, the business process. So the business processes and IT, they go hand in hand. So that transition, you may need to change something in the business process based on new functionality. Now you can do it better. However, the better is something fine, but change is also involved, and change is not always easy. So to move to that direction, uh, how did you find that part, resistance to change, and how did you kind of work around it? What tool did you use to increase user engagement and uh, kind of mold the resistance to change in something positive?
well, change management is yeah, it's a skill. It's a
Yes,
skill that people in project management should have and should develop, and it's not an easy piece
it's not.
to really make people adapt because people get in their comfort zone. They get used to way of doing things, and anything that's different becomes a threat.
Yes,
And heavily you've been emphasizing on training. I think it's the it's the secret. It's the secret, and really being there for users and supporting them at each steps. Training, documentation, making documentation available.
right,
Uh, yeah, user guides. The more you can communicate, the better it is. You know.
exactly.
Uh,
Supporting by training, by involvement. So
exactly.
they start seeing that it's not a threat. It's like they're to help you on, and uh, I think that that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll now move on. Like to move on to every situation is different. So in your company, again, it's a major corporation and it has own processes. Did you have to customize some parts of the software to certain departments to meet their specific needs? How did that go about?
Yeah, well, every system, every ARP is actually it's role based, and what someone do, what the operation that are done in HR or in finance or logistics are very different. The tasks are different. The way of doing things are different, and the ERP has to be actually developed in a way that it fulfill demand of all of the requirements. So
Right, right,
yeah, it's role based, and I was mostly involved in the logistics side,
right.
and because that's my area of expertise. That's the field where
Mhm.
I've been working in for a while. So I can say that it's role based, because even in logistics, you also have um different roles and different teams, different department, and um, there are stock management, there is order management, there's also transportation. So um,
Right,
all of those department has different needs, and it has to be adapted. That's the reason why all of those department needs to be part of the project at early stage, and they need to define their requirements, and they use the stories also, because uh, during the development phase, and during the project, you keep track. It's important to also have documentation where you keep all the backlogs and all the requirements that were required, and you have to go through all of them. um,
hmm
yeah, you have to
and
dissect.
and
You have
yeah, and
to.
to keep verifying what was achieved, what was left out. So kind of you have a roadmap and you check the
Yeah,
milestones.
yeah,
Great, very
exactly.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta have a
very good.
roadmap, definitely, and that also have to be updated on a weekly basis
Mm.
eventually, because there is something that we haven't mentioned, but uh, the project management also have different approach. Classic, it's you have the waterfall, you have the agile
Yes,
method,
yes, yeah.
and
Hmm.
IT project are usually suited with agile method. It works
Okay.
works better because requirements and need evolves.
Hmm.
It's
Yes,
not said that what's going to be delivered, the functionality that's required, and which the back end developer be working on, what they deliver, it's going to be a hit at the first time. It's something that maybe will not directly be accepted by the user, so it will not respond to the need. So then again, you will have to review it, resubmit, and then the IT will have to go through another sprint,
exactly.
and
Oh, sorry, and also the expectation might increase, like you call the scope creep. I see something, and then an idea hits my mind. Okay, can we do this as well? So that you never end, you know. So
exactly, yeah, it
you draw
evolves.
lines of it. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
it evolves. So it's iteration.
It
It works
evolves.
in
Yeah.
iteration. Things are done. It's tested. If it's okay, we move on to the next one. If it's not okay, we send it back to the backlog. They work on it again. They come
True.
back, they present something. We test it. If it's okay, we close it and move to another one. Well, it's just those user stories, and the backlog is just in the waterfall, something that we will call the that's actually the WBS in the IT
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the IT in the IT software
Well,
management.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Now that reminds me of another thing that I want to ask you. Yeah, so you must be using software to coordinate the project team, right? The tasks that are on hand, what needs to be done next week. Those tools are very handy to, otherwise, you just can't make sense of it. So much is happening all the time, right?
yeah. There is a lot of software out there that people can use, but I know that we we tried working with Jira, and you can do it. I mean, even as for a well organized person, because it's something that's also required for the project management. You have to be organized. You have to know how
Oh,
to
yeah.
lay out things to be able to keep track of stuff. So uh, I started because I was very new to it. I didn't know, my intuition was just organize everything on an Excel spreadsheet.
Mm.
So I had everything laid down on a spreadsheet, and then I had some people that I've been working with who came up to me and say, "Hey, listen, there is like my manager. I mean, not my manager, but the IT manager who I was working with showed me Jira. There's this Jira that people use
Right.
to keep track and
Yeah.
yeah,
There are
follow
many, many
follow.
tools. Yeah. Those tools are
Yeah,
very useful. But
start.
I would say Excel is also a very strong, a very powerful tool.
Excel is strong because
Yeah.
yeah, Excel is strong.
People use Excel for the Gantt chart style project management. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Uh, would like to share some best practices that you might picked up in your experience. Just maybe a couple of them. What to do, what not to do, what really works well.
Um. Well, the thing that I would advise for someone who has to work on this type of project, it would be to really have efficient communication.
Communication.
It's very important to be efficient when you communicate, and also to not rush things. It's very important to take time. I'm very detail oriented. I'm someone who is a bit too much idealist,
I
but
understand. I know. I worked with you on Syscom
it's
project, and
it,
then
it,
I
it's
know.
very important to have a good team first. The team is very important. That's something that's done at the early stage at the planning. You choose stakeholders, you choose people who are going to be working on the project, And
Okay.
it's very important to choose the right people.
Right people in the right seats. Yeah.
Yes, and the right, and those people also has to be dedicated to the project. Um, that's the resources. Resources
Okay.
very important. Yeah,
So
I would
how was your
say.
experience? I'm sorry, with the senior management support? Was it did you find it easy to find resources, or they were kind of always challenged with time, and you had to drag them to the project? So how did that work?
Well, I was being one of the resources. Well, we really took people from different department. Who participated. We involved them in all the meetings that we did, and really it's quite about exchanging, because those people are experts in the field. They know how things work already in the legacy, and it's easy for them to express requirements and need, and at the end to assess whether what's been developed really uh, answer the needs of what is needed by the what will be needed by the end user. So yes, it's we had the resources to work with from different departments, so that helped us a lot.
That's
That helped.
great because but the same token, these people are very busy people. They are running the operation, they are running the show, and for them to take
Exactly.
out time, yeah. so, so if
Exactly.
you could manage that, that's great. Good achievement, I would say.
Yeah. That's important. You made a point there, because most often you get people that are that are not totally dedicated to the project. People would
Yes.
be on their operation, and you put them onto something else that's very important, that require a lot of attention, that require a lot of time, a lot of involvement,
Yeah.
and it's important to motivate people, and to make sure that the people that you choose also are fully dedicated to the project,
Yeah.
and
And also because they know that they're investing their time in the future.
yeah.
Because the more they direct and guide and help the project, a better software they will have, which will make the life easier in the future and they'll get better results. Absolutely. Both it goes both ways,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Finally, I would say that's a great, amazing input, Mamadou. Really deep experience and insights. I would like to ask you about your Syscom learning that you took with you, and which part of that was more relevant? Maybe the planning module, because it's all about planning and ERP is about planning. Any specific that you found helpful in your project in ERP implementation?
Well, yeah, the Cisco model, the module one, is the one that will most likely be the one who has fed me during this project, because scheduling and planning
Scheduling,
is
okay.
something that you definitely have to do. Uh, Whether it's the agenda, because basically, as a key user, as a super user, as a person who participated in this whole thing, is that uh, what I did the most was to make sure that feedback is being done to the higher management, and we're communicating well with the service provider, because something that I may have not mentioned is already is not an it's not an in-house ERP system. So this was outsourced
Yeah.
to an outsiders, and you have to communicate with those people too, and make sure that uh, the needs are well expressed, and planning all of these meetings with them, and follow up meetings with the internal team, with the management, with the users, the training phases, planning trainings, elaborating user cases that that will be aligned with what users do on a daily basis to make them adapt and understand easier what they're doing really much that they used to do before, except they're just doing it differently. All of that is it's actually a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And like you mentioned, the three key topics within planning module in Syscom are planning, coordination, and alignment objectives.
yes,
So I'm
yes.
glad to
So
hear that that was very helpful for you in the project.
yes, yes,
Great.
it helps a lot. Yeah, it's the fundamental.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
yeah,
So really rich experience, I would say, and not everybody gets a chance very often to do this. And it brings new exposure, a new perspective to your knowledge about planning, about execution. Now you know the background, how systems work, how they interact, and how do you invest in your future to stretch yourself. Because it's never easy, like burning the midnight oil, working through the testing and analysis, coordinating. But it's all for good because now you have a better system once you complete it, and that'll make operation more efficient, more customer oriented. I'm sure.
yeah, 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 and yeah, for anyone out there too who would work on the ERP system, I would say if you're not an IT person who doesn't have a background, make sure you also have faith.
Yes, faith is a very good part because
You
that
gotta
pulls
have
you through.
faith because this is something that you do not have control over. You may know your
Yes,
processes, you may know how everything works,
yes,
but you
yes,
don't know if that code is gonna work if the day you go live. But yeah, you gotta have faith and
yes.
yeah, people know
Uh,
as much as you know what you're doing in your job,
yes,
you have to know that people in IT, the coding people also know what they're doing, so they usually have the ability to deliver. So trust
yes.
based.
Always, always there. And then when you even implement it, like you said, go live, and then you have a hyper care period when everybody is all decks, all hands on the deck. So anything that you need attention, you fix that then and there, so the operation do not suffer. Over a period of time, it all ramps down, and then it's just it's smooth sailing from there. So there's definitely going to be a period of hyper care after go live, right? Well, I must thank you for your insights. Really great for you to take out time, and I wish you very, I wish you success in your remaining part of the journey, and I hope that you will get through this very soon and have a wonderful ERP software system up and kicking and taking benefit.
Thank you very much, Aftab. Thank you,
All right.
thank you.
On behalf of my viewers, again, thanks for your time, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.